Hello, everyone. This is Jim Okersinski with your week 4 lecture video. So I begin with the weekly schedule. On the screen, we do have the first draft and peer report due on Friday. I believe in this week's screencast video, I discussed how to go about creating a folder. Hopefully, discussed on how to make a copy of the peer review report. And today I'd like to spend a little bit more time talking about that report and also the peer reviews that'll be due over the weekend. So I just want to point out in the modules here, if we get to the readings tab, along with the other lecture videos, what we have here is the Chapter 2, the literacy narrative sections have been highlighted as your readings for this module. Also, I indicate the student essay examples on pages 51 to 59, which covers the two examples of a literacy narrative. So if I get over to the textbook, remember those pages coincide with chapter 2, which is all about the literacy narrative. So as you prepare to write your first draft or post your first draft, I want to remind everybody about the target assessment. This is your essay assignment about writing the literacy narrative. One of the great items that we can talk about here just for a minute is in essay basics. As you can see here, I've opened up the table of contents in the document and I talk about organizing and formatting your essay here. So we want to make sure that MLA guidelines are followed. Also, they're stated in the syllabus. And I give you a little bit of an example of here of how a document should be formatted, should be set up for essay and MLA format. You might want to take a look at the two examples on pages 51 to 59. Those literacy narratives are formatted according to MLA guidelines. So you want to make sure that you follow those guidelines. So I offer some essay writing tips here, like reading the essay assignment instructions consistently throughout the drafting process. Be creative with your title. Stay away from repeated phrases and cliches. And more importantly, stay away from questions. Okay, we don't want to ask a lot of questions of our readers, our audience. We want to make bold statements. Provide enough of information and background and detail. And also, you want to be able to connect your sentences, which ultimately means that you are connecting your ideas. So, take a look here at how coordinating and subordinating will help your writing flow. How do we use the coordinators, which is basically the fanboys, which everybody should know all about, and then the subordinators and how we subordinate different parts of the sentence to vary our writing. So this is a grammatical aspect that we will work on throughout the semester. So once again, I want to just hop over to the Drive folder here. What we have is we have some students already who have created their folders. Here we have a draft and a peer report. Remember, check back, look at the Drive tutorials and this past week's screencast to get an overview of how to go about creating your folder and submitting your documents. One thing I want to point out here and talk about is a little bit more about the peer review report. This is where everybody creates their conversation as far as, excuse me, battling a little bit of a cold here. Creates a conversation and you share your drafting journey, good, bad, neutral, whatever it may be, being able to reflect on what you wrote and what kind of a draft you've uploaded for everybody's to review, peer review, is important. So I'm looking for a paragraph of conversation here about your drafting journey. Remember to write your name here so we can identify your document, along with renaming the document here so that way we can tell by the title of the document exactly who a peer report belongs to. Then you want to give a list of 3 things. Now be detailed and be thorough here. Don't just put up 3 phrases and just say check this, check that. Be specific. I have some questions and Paragraph number 4, do I have enough of details? Does it follow? Does it make sense? And once you've completed your report thoroughly, then it'll enable your peer reviewers to respond to that report. And that's one of the things that we want to talk about in peer review. In peer review, the object here is for you to A, read the report first, see what the writer has to say about their drafting errors, or drafting journey, I should say, not drafting errors, but their drafting journey. And then also you want to make sure that you take a good look at those 3 items that the writer asked for help with. So then you would go to the draft. You don't write in the draft, you don't comment in the draft. All you have to do is just read it through and try to help the writer out with the 3 items that they had asked for feedback. And then I offer some additional prompts here that you can look at and answer, and then come up with a list of 3 more things that the writer should do to improve the draft. Be specific. What paragraph? What do they need to add or change in that particular paragraph? Revision is a fine art here. So you always want to respond to what the writer wrote for number 1, and number 2, respond to the report. It's critical in this process. So I'd like to point out that one reviewer here, the second reviewer works in the reviewer 2 slot. Make sure that you put your name in here so that everyone knows who is reviewing their essay. So that's how I grade the assessment. So as we move forward, you want to make sure then if you get back to the modules here, that I do have first draft and peer report. I need 2 links in the text box, 1 to your draft and 1 to your peer report. Then for the peer reviews, okay, I need the 2 links to the documents that you wrote a review in. Just upload the peer review report link. I realize there'll be other information on it from another peer reviewer, but that is your responsibility to upload the links to the documents that contain your review. 2 reviews, if I go back to the announcements, are due. Schedule. 2 reviews will be due on Sunday. First draft and peer report will be due on Friday. It gives you a couple of days to conduct the 2 peer reviews, and I believe the final draft of essay number 1, revised to include all the feedback and peer reviews, it'll be due Tuesday of next week. All right. If you have any further questions, please contact me via email. Good luck.